7. Curing hindrances and assisting enlightenment. Seventh, curing hindrances and assisting enlightenment means that if there are many hindrances to the correct practice and the complete truth is not revealed, then one should cultivate secondary aids, such as the 5 meditations for settling the mind, the 6 perfections, and so forth. The Lotus Sutra, the Myoho Renge Kyo, says, quote, "And there were many attendants," end quote. This and the following modes are for those with low capacities. So sometimes we're not in the mood to train our minds. We get up in the morning and we decide, I'm not going to give effort to anything today. And, our mind can change in a fraction of a second, but if we are insistent on being sloth-like, we can be pretty good at staying the course, if you will. And so there are practices. In Tendai's day, many practices that he had taught his monks, just like Shakyamuni, taking people where they're at and raising them up until they have the commitment, the resolve, the confidence to awaken their Buddha, their Gohonzon, yeah? This is why Nichiren created the mandala, because he understood we needed something to mirror, to grab our attention, focus it, and meld with our Buddha mind, our Gohonzon. That's the way samsaric beings work. But it all begins with what? What's the simplest form of this method? Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Just chant. You hear it all the time. It gets to be annoying. Just chant. Because a little bit of training goes a long way. You look at so many analogies come to mind. Anything you do in life requires that you take a first step. And that first step leads to a second. And hopefully at some step, you'll feel an inspiration. You'll have an aha moment. You'll get an insight. And that's enough to embolden you. I'll take steps 3, 4, and 5 now. Well, I'll jump all the way to step 9. I'm getting this. Right? Confidence. Thank you for being here. Thank you for exploring your confidence. Right? Like, subscribe, grow this Sangha. Together, we're gaining confidence and resolve in training our mind to remain in Buddhahood, to operate from Buddhahood, to make that our paradigm for all of our thinking. Because thought is a way of understanding our experience, inculcating our experience. Eight, knowing the sequence of stages. Knowing the sequence of stages means that a person cultivating practices avoids the arrogance of assuming that one is at a higher stage than the stage one is actually in. Yeah, it's one of the dangers of inspiration, yeah? You get an insight and you go, whoa, I can jump to stage 47. I know more than you, than this, than that. I know more than I ever did. Well, yeah, okay, you do. You know more than you. But don't think for a moment that you've achieved the totality of what the goal is. You're just another step along the way. Great, good on you. But we should learn to appreciate our insights and our aha moments as just that. More confidence building so that we prepare for yet another major aha moment. We should get a habit of seeking out aha moments as the norm. Oh, yeah, that's really big, yeah? And so the ninth point here, just in time, having patience. Man, it's hard. When you finally get something, especially if you've been working on it for a long time, and it all makes sense, it's hard to be calm. And you shouldn't be calm like bored calm. You should just inculcate it and feel it in every cell of your body and feel confident that another is on the way, that now you've opened the door to yet another discovery. Right? Never feel like you've ended the journey. Because you haven't. We're all moving through time-space at incredible speeds, causation happening in every single moment. To inculcate greater understanding is wonderful. I don't mean to diminish it. But there's still greater to experience. That may temper your excitement a little bit and afford you actually in that tempering a greater appreciation for the expanse of what you've achieved. Being able to be calm and patient means to be tranquil and undisturbed by favorable or adverse conditions. And to advance in the practice of the 5 preliminary grades while entering the stage of purification of the 6 sense organs. Why does he say that? Because the 6 sense organs are the first 6 consciousnesses. So he's identifying here that a lot of our aha moments relate to our samsaric experience. And that's great. It's great to understand samsara and how it works. But our goal is much larger. And we're just learning the groundwork, which is exciting. But we don't want to make the mistake of thinking, now I can rest, when we have such a great opening, right? If you know about the game of, any land acquisition game like football, soccer, whatever, once you break through some defenders, you haven't scored the goal yet, but you have a massive opportunity you want to take advantage of. That kind of way. You need to temper your excitement so that you're not blinded, right? You make it through. It's like a running back who breaks through some defenders. He doesn't suddenly stop and go, yes, I broke through there. He's going to get tackled and taken to the ground. He has to, or she has to, kind of get a calmness in that moment to observe the next opportunities to guide themselves toward the best possible path, result, yeah? So finally, the 10th stage here, free from attachment to Dharma. That's a little bit jolting. I was getting free from attachment. Yeah, I get it. To Dharma. So this is the idea, and I'll just read this translation of Tendai's words. Being free from attachment to Dharma means not to be attached to the 10 degrees of resolve and the way of identity through outer experiences or appearances. One must not get stuck at an early stage, but enter the first abode, the principle of true reality. The Myoho Renge Kyo says, driving this jeweled vehicle, one journeys to the 4 directions, traversing the 40 stages, and directly arrives at the place of enlightenment, the stage of supreme enlightenment. That's really about Bodhisattva work. See, once you've gotten that that aha, that ultimate renge of experiencing the engine of life, you're still here in samsara. You may have, with your mind, explored the entity of all creation of the universe, the engine that the what's the word? Potential, experiencing the potential, the formations of all manifestations, yours as well as the rest of the universe. You may get that enlightenment that just puts you in awe. But you're not done. That amazing experience of life is something to savor, to maintain. How can we maintain that? Oh yeah, we're still samsaric human beings, sentient minds. So we can maintain the course of that amazing experience in this human life to influence and affect all around us. What an amazing opportunity that is. That as someone who's experienced the engine of life, the equanimity of all things in formation through time, moment to moment to moment to moment, can interact with those formations. No longer in the self alone, the appearances that get rid of that ego and appear and see it in others and want to liberate their minds from the confines of their own sufferings, keeps enlivening that experience of enlightenment, that Buddha-ness. This is why to be a human being is such an incredible opportunity. This adds a preciousness to life far beyond anything material that we ever judged a life to be valuable for. But to have the mental experience of life itself, something we carry with us through our day and share with others, that is perfect and complete enlightenment. Do you see now why that's such an important factor in Lotus Sutra Buddhism? Thus, humbly relying on the extensive sources of the Tendai teachings, I have recorded, Nichiren tells us, the 5 periods and 8 teachings, briefly informing you in this way. I'm sorry, this is not Nichiren, that's the Tripitaka master who wrote this down. If there are those who wish to really understand, they should read the profound meaning of the Lotus Sutra by Z.E. Chiche in 10 facets, which carefully classifies the patterns of teachings by various Buddhas in the 10 directions and of the past, present, and future. It is like a clear mirror, words Nichiren uses. Also, the 4 facets of the profound meaning of the Vimalakirti Sutra, a sutra I've referred to many times, to understand this differentiation, right? By Z.E. completely distinguished the forms of the teachings. From here on, I shall briefly outline the classifications of the teachings according to the various other schools. I think it is easy to see by these handful of texts and excerpts that the teaching of Shakyamuni's insight into the nature of phenomena throughout our sentient experience is well documented throughout the thousands of years and hundreds of scholars endeavoring to keep and transmit those insights with as detailed and accuracy as is possible with the language and cultures of peoples of varied cultures, languages, and time. Those are my words. And I close out by saying, the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment of life, considered in our understanding of moment-to-moment existence, requires a profound rethinking of our awareness and influences on our experience, from within and without, inner monologue and outer. This leads us back to our training of mind. Love and respect. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. And that's how I end the book, at least for now, unless I run into something that I think absolutely must be shoehorned into this discussion. That could be an endless endeavor, because the idea of the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment is actually so vast in that it encompasses the entirety of Shakyamuni's teachings. And so back to the idea of the Dharma. The Dharma, sometimes misquoted as meaning teaching, is not simply the teachings. It's the experience of what the teachings are pointing to. But there's a danger in those aha moments, as we've already talked about, of thinking that once that experience, the Dharma, is achieved, that you now, what do we do as samsaric beings? We now own it. I own the Dharma. It's mine. So the true Dharma isn't in the aha of the teachings of this experience. The true Dharma, is the coursing with the Dharma and engaging our environment, other sentient minds, with this experience, assisting them to achieve it for themselves. That experience of the Dharma is, once again, larger, more complete, more embodying of the engine of life than simply achieving it for one's own mind. Then the concept of itai doshin becomes a real, palpable thing. When other minds join you in the Dharma, there is a community of mind there that transcends this body thoroughly, but imbues your ongoing life as a Bodhisattva and Samsara with a tremendous sensation of living fully, without restriction, without fear, without baggage. Every moment becomes glorious, exciting, wonderful, life-affirming. Think of the brief moments you've felt in your life when you did some endeavor that suddenly became effortless. I used to say when I was young, many years ago, another lifetime, you would say, I did a lot of architectural work, and then I did renderings and art, and it was always a creative. And I don't know how many times in my lifetime I've heard people tell me, I don't know how you do it. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, right? It's a cliche. And truly I didn't mean to hurt their feelings, but out of a compassion I felt for them, I would always put that off and go, my thought was that talent, quote unquote, was something that you did effortlessly. In fact, ironically, you would never support your talent or feel good about it as though it had value because it was easy for you to do. Oftentimes, you hear stories of people who never do what others say, you should do that. That's what, you're amazing at that. Why don't you do that? And people look at you, I don't, blah, 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 list of excuses. And in actual fact, if they really hunkered down and valued those things that were easy for them to do, we could achieve amazing things. And once in a while, it happens. You're doing the thing that you do, and you get into that flow, and it's going, and you're experiencing it. And time goes by, and you don't even know. You don't eat, you don't do anything else. You're in it, right? We've all had a moment of that in something. So, what would that be like to experience that kind of sensation for your entire life? That's hard to conceive of, isn't it? But that's what Shakyamuni is trying to make real for us, that we should all be living that kind of life. Buddha-ness. All right, so that's the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment of life. We could go on and on and on talking about this, because as I said, everything Nichiren talks about, Tendai, Nagarjuna, Sakyamuni, all of it is in service to this idea that we all have this potential, and all we need do is develop it to remain in the fore, in our consciousness. And that when we don't, the result is life sucks, then you die. Yeah? How many times have you heard that? Life doesn't suck. Life is a precious opportunity. And if you're living every day with that kind of thought in your mind, well, no wonder it sucks. That's what you're validating. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Keep chanting. Respect your enlightenment. Savor it. It's your best, most fulfilling life. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. Take care of your health. Keep your practice strong. Thank you for your support. Like, subscribe. Make donations if you can. Anything to grow the Sangha, to influence more people, to keep encouraging ourselves, to stay the course, to pay homage to this great opportunity of consciousness, life, and being. Congratulations. You're here. Let's do it together. Namo Myo Renge Kyo. I don't know what I'm going to talk about next. I have no idea, but I'm sure something will come to mind. All right, bye for now.